Hello, and welcome to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, the wonderful Misty Morrison, and today is episode 15 of Was I in the Wrong? Let's get right on into the stories. All right, story number 1 is coming to us from r/Would I Be the A-hole? Would I be the a-hole for leaving my partner and not telling him why? Immediate reaction, yes. Just yes, let's read more. I've been dating my partner for a little less than 3 months. In that time, I had an unfortunate series of events and had to temporarily move out of the home I was in. He offered to let me live with him, and while I was hesitant, I didn't feel I had many options. I moved in with him in February, moved out in March, staying a total of about a month. During the time I lived with him, he was sweet and thoughtful, and also frightening and abusive. He bought me clothes and took me to nice restaurants, drove me to work, made me coffee every morning, packed me lunches, helped me move, and told me he loved me and wanted to marry me. He would also fly into rages when we would disagree and berate me, keeping me up all night shouting at me and lecturing me. I missed work several times because I wasn't allowed to sleep and could not drive myself to work in a sleep-deprived state. When I've tried to leave to sleep in my car or find a hotel, he would block me or lock me in rooms, shove me or grab me when I tried to move around him, and take my keys, phone, card, etc. to prevent me from leaving. His ranting would frequently turn into him following me around his apartment screaming profanities at me, and sometimes include him undressing me and preventing me from getting dressed when the clothes or towel I was wearing were ones he'd bought. He has threatened to sue me for the money he spent on me. Last time I left, I called the police. I made the mistake of talking to him to hear his side of things, and I reestablished contact with him. I'm terrified of him, and I want to leave. But since the last incident, he's been kinder and sweeter and more open with me. I know this is part of the cycle, but part of me questions whether he deserves being abandoned without explanation for the things he did when he's being so kind now. I feel so awful about my decision, but it doesn't seem like staying is a reasonable choice. I'm heartbroken and disappointed in myself for finding myself in this situation, and also afraid of what he may do if I do or don't speak to him in advance. Would I be the asshole? No. Well, okay. You are not the asshole for leaving. But I don't think that's a good idea for you to not say anything at all. I don't think you should say anything in advance. That sounds unsafe. Given his prior behavior and having already left him multiple times, and he is being sweeter every time you come back. That tells me that he's trying to lure you in for the last time. Absolutely leave. You should not at all be disappointed in yourself for being in this situation. It is not your fault. But make your plan, find your way out. And in this particular situation, I wouldn't call you an asshole if you didn't say anything, but I do think it'll work out better for you if you do say something. Make your plan, find your way out. And if you are still, well, no, you said you're not in his apartment anymore. So I would send a text and take screenshots so you don't actually have to try to have a conversation with him that you know is going to end up in him yelling at you. Draft it out, write it, and once you leave, press send and then press block. Just text him explaining that you are gone for good. Explain the reasons why, tell him everything he did wrong and that he needs therapy, and then be done. Block him on any way that he has to contact you and make sure he does not know where you've moved to. And if you can, get a protection order. Yeah, that's the best I got. So this situation is a mess. That's what I'm going to call it. But you are absolutely not the asshole for leaving. That is the best decision you could make. And in this situation, you wouldn't be the asshole for not telling him why you left. But I do think it'll be better if you do. All right. That was short, but there's a lot in it. Story number 2 is coming to us from AITA_relationships. AITA for banning my wife from my home during our separation period. Initial reaction, no. Hesitantly. Let's see. My wife, 29, and I, 31, are currently separated and going through the divorce process. Her decision. She admitted to me last year she didn't love me the same anymore, and that she had been cheating on me. Shortly thereafter, moved back in with her mother until she got her own place in February. During this period between October and December, we maintained communication and tried to work things out, to no avail. We had our good days and we definitely had our bad days. But the one thing that we both agreed upon was open honesty and communication because we both acknowledged that it was lacking in our relationship, hence why it had gotten to this point. After the new year, she started becoming very distant, a bit shady, and started lying to me constantly. I know this because I've caught her red-handed on multiple occasions, lying about simple things like her being at work or who she may be hanging out with. Bottom line is that we have argued about that more times than needed because I keep caving and giving her another chance. I simply love her that much. But my final straw was this. Our divorce hearing was expedited to a 6-month stint instead of the full year, no-fault divorce or something like that. So upon the arrival of the court date, I asked her simply if we could spend one final evening together as husband and wife. She hesitated and said maybe, because she had plans with her mother and then one of her gay best friends that we both know and love dearly. So I didn't see the issue. The issue that did arise, though, is that as I was driving past her new apartment on my way to a friend's house, and who do I see standing outside with a shirt off smoking a cigarette? The bitch that she cheated on me with. The same guy that she swore up and down she had cut off and was no longer speaking to. I obviously flipped out, confronted her, yelled at them both because all I asked for was honesty, and she couldn't even provide me with that. So because of this revelation that she has been shacking up with him this entire time, I cut her off completely and said she is no longer allowed to come back to the house and see our cats. That she was banned. I told her she can't have her cake and eat it too. She was either going to choose him or choose us. She clearly made her choice, but now she's threatening to come get the female cat when all of this is finalized and over because I cut her off from every possible way of seeing her. I did delete her off Snapchat. So, am I the asshole for doing this and finally putting my foot down? She's not used to me telling her no. I absolutely spoiled her in the relationship, but I'm afraid now that she may try to take some sort of legal action when she's the one that made the choice to cheat, leave, and file divorce. I understand that it's a moral gray area since we adopted the cats together, but I don't know what to do. I don't think she deserves it, but my heart is also too big, so it hurts me to hurt her, even through all of this. Some may think I have no self-respect, and I may not. But I know the woman I fell in love with, and this isn't her. That's why it's so confusing. Whew. Things went downhill quickly. So I'm really confused about how you got your divorce hearing expedited to 6 months if the reason was no-fault divorce, because this is clearly an at-fault divorce. Your wife cheated. It's her fault. Definitely don't agree with yelling at both of them. It sounds like you did so outside. Really messy. I don't like that. No. I mean, to answer your question, AITA for banning my wife from my home during our separation period, no. She's the one who cheated. She's the one who damaged the relationship. She chose to leave. No. That is not wrong. However, for one, you already knew she wasn't honest before she left because she'd been cheating and hiding it. There's that. So why then, when you are separated and going through a divorce process, would you expect and try to demand honesty from her? Once you are separated and she has said, I want a divorce, she doesn't owe that to you anymore. Yes, it would be great and lovely if everyone would just be honest with each other, but that's not how it works. That is not how she is working at this point. She doesn't owe you anything. I also don't think you owe her the cat. Probably throughout the divorce proceedings, she can try to get custody of one of the cats because it sounds like there's at least two. I don't necessarily think that would be right for her to take one, like if they're bonded really closely together. But that's between you guys and the court system. Yeah, moral gray area for sure, because it kind of like tosses up between, are the cats more bonded to each other, or is the female cat more bonded to her? And it would be less harmful to the cat for her to go with her. That's kind of how I would make that decision, based on the cat and not based on what she wants, because she's the one that caused all this chaos. And I want to point you to the end of your post where you said, the woman I fell in love with, I know the woman I fell in love with, and this isn't her. She's not that person anymore, apparently. So you need to let go of your idea or your remembrance of the woman that you fell in love with, and understand the woman that you're dealing with now is dishonest, and she has already chosen someone over you, and she doesn't owe you anything else. It sucks. It is hurtful. But when people show you who you are, believe them. I would just, fight for what's best for the cats, because at the end of this, you are not getting the woman that you fell in love with back. You're just not. So you are not wrong for banning her from the house. You could even take it as far as to trespass her. But yeah, she made her bed. She can lay in it. You are right. Okay, story number 3 is coming to us from r/am I the asshole? AITAH for kicking my house guests out 11 hours before their flight is scheduled to leave. Immediate reaction is no. And there is a tag on this one. Reddit has dubbed this person not the asshole after only a day since the post has been up. So let's see what it says. My friend and his wife have made plans to visit us this summer for a weekend stay. The flight is 2 hours, so not a really long journey for them. We have our home professionally cleaned regularly and go all in to be good hosts to our guests. However, with any good thing, some people try to take advantage. I usually will take an extra day from work after guests leave to get rest or even tidy up the house a bit. It's just a peaceful time for me to return to the normalcy of our household after being in host mode. Before my friend booked his flight, my husband let it slip that I will not be working the Monday after my friends stay with us. Next thing I know, my friend tells me that they will be flying out on a red-eye the Monday I took off for rest. This means they will arrive early Friday morning and leave late Monday night. To that, I responded that I will be taking them to the airport as early as 8 a.m. Monday morning so I can have my day of rest like I planned. My friend tells me that he doesn't understand why they can't just hang out at our place or have us show them around town more on that Monday since they have a late flight. I explained to them that the day off is for me to rest, not to continue to be their host. I told them that they are more than welcome to leave their luggage here if they want to go explore on their own, but we will not be hosting them or playing tour guide after Monday morning. He goes on to admit that it was cheaper for him to book the later flight on Monday, and that's not a big deal for him and his wife to just hang out at my house all day until it's time for them to fly out. Keep in mind that I will have to take them to the airport or pay for rideshare because he refuses to pay. I will also have to feed them. I told him that they are welcome to visit and stay with us, but staying at our house all day Monday is not an option, and he needs to make other arrangements. He's now accusing me of being a horrible friend, and his wife says we're assholes. Your thoughts? Ooh. This is a very messy situation. Ultimately, it is your house, and that's your choice. You guys seem to be really good hosts. Like, really on top of it, like the kind of people who make things beautiful for like dinner parties. I'm not that person, but it does seem like you guys go all out for guests. You put the work in, like you make it an experience for people to come stay with you, and that's great. So I absolutely see why you need that day of rest. But I think just telling them you are basically evicted from here at 8 a.m. Monday is a bit harsh if they are like close friends. I would say it sucks that you're in this situation to start with, but I probably would handle it like, hey, I took Monday off to, hosting can be a lot. I took Monday off to rest and reset the house. So we're definitely not going to, do tours or anything on Monday. You're welcome to hang out in the living room, but I'm staying in my room to rest. Basically, I would find a way to not put them out on the streets for an entire day. But considering they are staying with you, I think it was very important for them as guests to take your needs into consideration and maybe consult you on when they should be leaving when they were booking their flights. I definitely do think that your friend is the asshole for his reaction to all of it. Besides choosing a later flight after he heard that you were off, probably because they wanted to spend more time with you, but then to say you're assholes, and also to refuse to pay for a rideshare because you said, I will not be driving anyone to the airport after 8 a.m. Either take the ride or hang out quietly by yourselves and then get a rideshare that you pay for, because it is ultimately your own responsibility to get yourself to the airport. So this is a messy situation all the way around. I think everyone could have handled it a little bit better, but ultimately because it is your house, not the asshole. Just not very kind. Story number 4 is a short one. It's coming to us from r/Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting for my girlfriend showing up to my family funeral/viewing unannounced? Initial reaction. I don't have an initial reaction. This immediately seems odd to me, so I need to read more. My girlfriend of going on 5 months showed up to my aunt's viewing unannounced and sat in the parking lot to, quote, see if I could see you for a second, end quote, when it seems to me she simply wanted to see if I was actually there. She was not invited, knew absolutely no one there, and when I was like, you did what? She gaslit me, talking about how it wasn't like that and how she was at the parking lot connected to the funeral homes next door. I personally would never show up to a significant other's family viewing without being invited, and not to simply sit in the parking lot. She had been sitting there for a while and I didn't know. I just want exterior opinions. How would you handle this? Am I overreacting? Okay, no. You are right. That is a weird thing to do. My initial reaction, I've been told that, funerals are not events that you need an invitation to, but if it's your family and it doesn't sound like you and your girlfriend have been either together, okay, yeah, you said your girlfriend of 5 months. It sounded like you guys hadn't been together very long from this entire interaction. So yeah, after 5 months, unless you specifically asked her, there would be no reason for her to go to your aunt's funeral. And especially the way she did it. She didn't show up to show support. She didn't come inside to pay respects. She waited out in the parking lot next door like a creepy person to see you for a second. She knows you're busy. You're at a funeral. This is not the time to see you for a second, whatever that means. So no, you're not overreacting. This is creepy behavior. I'm glad you're not letting her gaslight you. I don't think she should be your girlfriend anymore, because this is really weird and kind of creepy. Let's see. I normally don't read the comments, but there is a gold comment first thing that says, my friend and coworker had a boyfriend that did that. He drove 40 miles all the time to sit in the parking lot, not picking her up, just watching her, making sure she didn't leave with another guy. She's dead. He murdered her. Her name is Franca Barcy, a sweet, wonderful young woman with a child. We tried to get her away from him, and she wouldn't listen. Thought she could save him. Save yourself this chaos and leave. Well, that gave me chills all over. That's kind of the direction my mind was going. This is really creepy, possessive behavior. and to just drive over without saying a word and just sit in the parking lot and watch people. Really creepy and possessive. I'm with this first commenter. You don't need this drama in your life. Just leave. All right, one more for today. Story number 5 is coming to us from r/AIO. Am I overreacting to my husband trying to nickel and dime a massive tax refund? Initial reaction, I don't know, because it depends on how you reacted. So let's see. My husband and I received a sizable tax refund this year, $18,000. This is more than he paid in taxes this year. My income is not taxable. However, we only get a refund like this because of expenditures made on my business. We were only open for the last 10 days of 2024, which made us eligible for an earned income credit and our childcare credit. Although business is ramping up quickly, it's not making money yet, and I am paying a bit out of pocket every month to make sure we cover bills and payroll. I asked that we put $3,000 into the business checking as a boost to our working capital to alleviate some pressure before our busy seasons, summer and fall. This is all I've asked for. My husband believes the entire refund should go to him, as he was the only one who paid in. However, we would not have gotten almost anything back if not for the business expenses we are writing off. And I think asking for $3,000 to help stabilize our working capital in our bank account is extremely reasonable, especially since it is more than he paid in anyway. He eventually said that if the earned income credit earned us at least $3,000 more than what he put in, then we can put that into the business checking. I was incensed pretty much right away. I told him, never mind. If he's going to nickel and dime like this, then he can just keep it and I'll hunker down until we get busy. He thinks I'm overreacting. Am I overreacting? Edit. I feel like it's also worth mentioning that I did all of the accounting and worked with the tax preparer myself to file these taxes. All he did was email me his documents. No. OP, you are completely right. You are not overreacting at all. This man has some nerve to say, oh, awesome, we're getting $18,000 back. I'm going to keep it all. You're married. You're married? Yes, you said husband, you're married. Like, that is your money jointly. And when you consider that part of it is the earned income credit, which does make a big difference, and part of it is childcare, and I don't know that that's, to me, I'm thinking that's the credit that you get just for having a child in the U.S. In which case, that's not all his. Like, the kids got you part of that money, and you know that your business got you part of it. The fact that he's the only one who paid in doesn't mean that it's all his money, because without you and the kids, he wouldn't have got those credits. He's being selfish and unreasonable. You are right. And I hope you just show him the post, show him the comments, show him people basically calling him dumb. And hopefully he will not only change his mind and give you the $3,000 that you are minimally rightly entitled to, but he should give you a $2,000 bonus on top of that for being an asshole. Just my opinion. And there is another gold box comment at the top of this one that says, I would tell him you will start filing separately and to sign the business over to you since you will be funding it. Yes, if this is the way he's going to treat you and not share what is jointly yours, then I would, well, maybe you could just talk sense to him, because when you are married and file separately and you are not able to file as head of the household, you lose access to the earned income credit in the US. So that is definitely something to consider if that was such a big credit for you this year. So hopefully he just comes to his senses and starts acting like not only a reasonable husband, but also a reasonable business partner who would rightly want to invest some additional money into the business when it's available. OP, you are right. Yeah, and your husband's an asshole. Just saying. All right, that is us done for today. 5 stories for episode 15 of Was I in the Wrong on the Misty Morrison podcast. I love chatting with you today. If you are listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review to help the channel grow and share it with a friend. If you are watching on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the stories. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more. Thanks for being here. Bye.